to leave home. Well, I couldn't wait for the roosters to leave home. That end. He came to me as a 14-year-old. He realised I was a bit stressed. And he said, Mum, I know you're a bit stressed. I'll run you a bath. Because he knew that if I was stressed, I'd have a bath with bubbles and essential oils and candles. And he said, I've got it all ready for you. Yeah, and wait for the next bit. So don't wee in it, and I'm going to get in after you. What woman wees anyway? So what have these ones become? One's a lawyer and one's a financial expert. I'm not clever enough to know what he does. And these two, this one, my baby, began as a physiotherapist, who's now almost a fully qualified emergency doctor. And that little one there, at the end, is a radiographer. They care about people, they care about money. And how the money gives me what I want to have fun. Do you see the difference? Yeah, good luck. Okay, so this is the thing when you have a child, you know, we all have a thought of who we're going to get, don't we? You don't always get what you want, do you? So my closest girlfriend, she was beautiful. She had this gorgeous little baby boy. We were both teachers, and I couldn't believe how easy he was. So I had a vision of me, you know, laying around reading books. What a shock. She had a lamb, and I got a rooster. And I think this is one of the things I didn't even know there was a thing as temperament. I didn't know there were all sorts of other things that can land. So I want to give you a clue, because our job is to work out who is the child I have, and what do they need to become who they're meant to be. And I'm going to say some are harder to love, no question. No matter how much our wonderful men say yesterday, there were times I found it hard to like some of the antics of my rooster boys. So, these are some of the things that influence who your beautiful baby may be. So we all know about ancestry, and sometimes those things can come down a couple of generations. My boys tease me because I've given them flat feet and narrow ear canals. Apparently that's my fault. Now, epigenetics is something that really took a long time for us to discover, that there are other things that come down through the gene pool. Some of those are predispositions to mental illness, anxiety disorders. There are so many other things, and we now know that trauma can come through, and that's why we can have generational trauma. And it's like we're just still discovering what is turning up in the little package that you deliver so well. This one, the next one, of course I'm exploring it today. What have you got? Introversion, extroversion, what the heck is that, and how do we know what that looks like? The innate gifts and challenges, I love that. That was something that Dr. Dan said yesterday. When you look under all of us, we've all got some fabulous gifts, but we've all come with some stuff, you know, some challenges. And I think one of the things I've been worried about the last 10 years is we keep focusing on the deficits of our kids and not the innate strengths. Yeah, so good luck on that one. Now, birth order, there was a lot around for a long time about what order you're born. That's going to make a big difference, but the more recent research shows that the best benefit is about 10% better if you're firstborn. And after that, it's a bit, although my boys will argue we've got a golden child, the baby's often a little bit more. So once again, it's not a big issue, but sometimes if you're the middle child, you'll say it's a big issue. What about me? Okay, so then we have neurodiversity, when we're born with our brain wired in a different way. Then we have some of our kids that turn up already with incredible physicality and strength. My oldest granddaughter threw herself out of a cot with a sleeping bag on at 14 months of age. And my son said, Mum, what do you do now? And I said, not a cot, love. She's got upper body strength. Yeah? She's super strong. And it was something we needed to watch, because she'd climb trees and things that would scare the heck out of us. And then underneath this, there are still some biological dramas that turn up from when we were humans a long, long time ago, about what women are wired to do and what men are wired to do. And then, of course, underneath it, we have the influence of sex and gender, which I'm not touching on today. That's out in the other books I've already written. And that might be one of my granddaughters. way more complicated than boys. Okay, so I don't even have to talk about this one because it was all covered yesterday. We know that the more safe our children feel in our arms, in our homes, in our schools, the better they learn, the better they play, the healthier they grow. All right, so, I meant to mention one thing. So apparently because I'm a teacher, I've made an extensive notes that they're going to email to you. So sit back. You don't need to know anything about the rest of it. Now, you heard this word, of course, again, yesterday with our experts. This fascinated the heck out of me when I discovered it, is how our little ones are constantly growing new neural pathways with what they do. And I'm going to say this can be something that can help you understand toddlers beautifully. Because, you know, if they get your favourite face cream, and obviously targeting women here, but I hope men have a face cream, and it's taken the lid off, and it smears it on the cupboard, and then the carpet, and then the dog, and then their face, their brain synapses are going crazy because everything is different and they've never experienced it before. And you get cross at them, and I'm saying no, potential genius, working out how the world works by real experiences, not by us telling them or learning off a screen. So every now and then, don't overreact with those moments. Go, oh no, potential genius. I still think this is a book every parent and every educator should read, because it was the one that kind of really got me super excited about seeing children and growth. We can all change. I think for a long time it said up to 9, you know, at 5 your brain's done, it doesn't change, rubbish. And I think it's all those things that if you have a child who can't dress themselves, it's because they haven't got the neural pathways yet, they haven't got the skill. And that can happen at all ages with different reasons. And we can all learn. It's so exciting, isn't it? And one of those things is about habits. And there are toddlers who like to bite. Doesn't mean they're going to, I'm a people eater, but they sometimes have an urge to crunch down on something, and so they might bite the nearest child. And then everyone reacts and they think, oh, it must be good to bite. And so we have to unhabit that habit to create a new habit. I'm going to get you an apple. And you see how the unhabiting doesn't come from punishment, shouting at them, growling at them. It's that we make that less of a thing and increase a new habit. It's the same for us when we eat too much chocolate after dinner. All right, so I love this internal brain maps. This is actually, as they're interacting with the world, they're creating the maps of how the world works and who they are. And over, they do it over and over. Look at this one. So this is one of my, I'm beside my granddaughter who's probably 2, and I'm getting a salad ready, and she has the container with the cherry tomatoes, and she's just going, the entire punnet. And her brain is going, oh, so this is what happens when you bite into a cherry tomato. How fabulous. And yet we can lose it, can't we? Stop eating them. And I just chop them up, put them in this bag bowl sauce, she'll be fine. So it's one of those things we need to see through a slightly different lens. And this is, those silly things. Just, I want to know what it's like to bite a cat. Or I couldn't find anything to draw on, so I'll draw on the dog. Look at the dog's head, it's been at it for ages. So beautiful, isn't it? And then I have to touch this briefly. This is an amazing book that changed so much for me to understand how we and our kids function in the world. And I love it. All the OTs are here, you know all about this beautiful word, interoception, and that the brain's working with the body to be able to use the oxygen to make blood and food to make poo and make sure I've got enough energy to do all the things. Yep, it's fascinating. But what you need to understand is that we know how to navigate our energy. So we know when we're low in energy, we're going to go, I'm going to have a coffee. I'm going to have strong coffee too. Yeah? Or I'm going to go outside and feel really healthy and do some downward dogs and yoga position. Or eat chocolate. You know, whatever it is, we know how to do something. Our children and our teens can't. So every now and then, we need to see it through the lens of have they got the energy in their body budget to be able to eat, to be able to learn, to be able to listen to you, So it's a really different lens with which to look at our kids. And all of us are struggling in a world that's way more stressful than it was before. And I love this quote, and I'd love to remind us all from Vanessa Lapointe, of course, was here last year, one of my dearest friends. I love this quote so much. I've yet to meet a child who enjoys misbehaving. Rather, I see a child who's working to communicate a message about an unmet need in increasingly desperate and extreme ways. That is what our children are looking to have their needs met by us. Now, I want to reassure you, no parent can meet 100% of the needs of one child all the time. So don't try. You can't do it. Yeah? We've got to target the most important needs of our children if we can, and we're not always going to get it right.